Wednesday Addams is an anomaly. Unlike the power-obsessed warlords, megalomaniacal geniuses, and unhinged psychopaths I typically prepare for, she operates on a different wavelength, one rooted in a fascination with the macabre, an unshakable composure, and a mind that revels in the unsettling. She doesn't seek control like Ra's al Ghul, doesn't crave chaos like the Joker, and doesn't thirst for revenge like Bane. Instead, she moves through life as an observer, studying, analyzing, and, when necessary, manipulating. If she were to ever become a threat, conventional tactics would be insufficient. Fear would not deter her. Pain would not break her. And morality would not bind her. The first step in neutralizing a potential threat is understanding it. Wednesday is driven by curiosity, not power or wealth. She is not interested in ruling Gotham, dismantling its structures, or even corrupting it for personal gain. Instead, her motivations align with something far more dangerous: intellectual satisfaction. The danger is not in what she wants, but in what she is willing to do to obtain it. If Gotham's criminal underworld, its corruption, or even its most dangerous individuals become part of a puzzle she deems worthy of solving, she will pursue it to its conclusion, no matter the cost. That makes her an unpredictable element, one that cannot be bribed, threatened, or coerced. She plays by her own rules, and she enjoys the game far too much to be dissuaded from it. Surveillance will be the primary line of defense. Unlike conventional threats, she does not hide in the shadows or rely on brute force. She exists in plain sight, moving through elite academic circles, forgotten libraries, and the kinds of places where knowledge, particularly the kind most people fear, can be found. Monitoring her activities, tracking her movements, and keeping a record of her correspondences will be essential. However, it must be done in a way that remains undetectable. If she becomes aware of the surveillance, she will not be intimidated, she will be intrigued. And that is far more dangerous. Psychological profiling presents a paradox. Most threats can be dismantled by identifying weaknesses: guilt, fear, desperation. But Wednesday does not experience emotions the way others do. Fear is a novelty, guilt is an academic exercise, and despair is an emotion she studies in others rather than feels herself. Traditional psychological pressure will not work. Instead, the key lies in her attachments, or rather, the few she allows herself to form. Though she often distances herself from others, she does develop loyalty, albeit in an unconventional way. Her family, despite its eccentricities, is important to her. Those she deems worthy of respect, friends, mentors, even rivals, become rare emotional anchors. If she were ever to become a threat, isolation from these individuals would be the most effective method of neutralization. Direct confrontation is a losing strategy. She is not a physical combatant, but she doesn't need to be. Her strength lies in her ability to manipulate, to predict, to set intellectual traps that ensnare opponents before they realize they've lost. Engaging her in a battle of wits is a dangerous game, one that only a few could hope to win. The best defense is to refuse to play. Disruption of her mental patterns, feeding her false information, and presenting her with unsolvable riddles will be necessary to keep her from gaining the upper hand. If she cannot predict my moves, she cannot counter them. If escalation occurs, if she aligns herself with a greater power or uses her intellect to aid those who would do real harm, more drastic measures will be required. Physical containment would be difficult, not because she is a fighter, but because she would see it as a challenge. The solution lies in redirection. She thrives on intellectual stimulation. The best way to neutralize her is not through imprisonment, but through distraction. Introduce a mystery deeper than the one she is pursuing, a question more enticing, a secret too irresistible to ignore. Unlike true villains, she has no grand agenda. She only seeks fascination. The goal, then, is simple: ensure that whatever she finds most fascinating is something that leads her away from destruction. If she is to be controlled, it will not be through force, it will be through intrigue.